So we have finished cleaning up the Flying High Hive. This colony failed. We don't know why. As we were cleaning up, we looked through all of the debris, looked through the comb very carefully. We found a grand total of 3 hive beetles, so they weren't overrun by hive beetles. We didn't see any evidence of varroa mites in the debris or in the 5 or 6 bees that were left in the colony. So it doesn't appear that there was a varroa mite issue. They had lots of bee bread, nectar, and honey stored in the colony, so they had food. So they just left. We don't know what happened. We did find a queen as we were cleaning up. So it does look like if the colony swarmed, they did have a successful queen emerge out of the 12 queen cups that we found in the frames as we were going through them. But apparently she didn't get mated, or she is not a good queen. She never started laying. There's absolutely no evidence that she ever started laying. So we don't know what happened. We've cleaned up the box as best we can. Roy's run the torch around through it to kill off any creepy crawly things that may have been remaining. The frames that had honey and nectar and bee bread in it have gone into the freezer out back. And after they're in the freezer for 3 or 4 days, they'll be able to be used for resources for some of the other hives if we need it later on. So that's where we are. We're practicing natural beekeeping, and so essentially all we're trying to do is provide a nice place for the bees to live since they're losing habitat. So we've got our box all ready to go again. We do have a colony of bees, a swarm colony up in a box up at John's farm, and so we're going to go get that in the next few days and bring it down here and start all over again. So that's pretty much the story of the Flying High Hive, and we'll just start all over again and see what happens next time.
Well, folks, you missed a truly amazing video. It's probably the best one we ever did, but we did it without the camera turned on. So we're going to do a little reenactment here. Really, this was an amazing video. You would have loved it. So this swarm box we brought in from John's house. We brought it in Friday morning. We set it here so that it's straight in front of the hive opening. We had it sitting right here on the stool. If you'll see, I'm not being attacked by bees like I have in some of my last few videos where the weather was really bad. These bees have been very docile. None of them are flying up and hitting me and stuff like that. But what we did, we opened up the box. We moved the bees into this hive here. Let's see. I put 3 extra frames in here. And this had one really, really heavy frame here that is slammed full. Golly. This was like an old brood comb and stuff. And it is slam full packed with nectar.
Do you think you need to move that to the outside?
No. I think they'll move things like they want it. We come back if we see where the brood is going crazy, we can move it, put the brood frames in here in the middle. All right, so I'm going to close this down. And what we found here were the other frames. They had built a ton of wax on the starter strips and stuff. Get these back tightened up here. Get out, bee. I got one bee. All right. So we did some looking, had to look really hard, and what we found here on this colony is we had some very, very new eggs, either laid today, yesterday, or the day before. I mean, they're just eggs. There's none of them have turned to larvae, so very new brood. So what we've decided happened here is this was either a secondary swarm or a secondary swarm. It swarmed where you have a virgin queen that hasn't been mated, and she flies off with the swarm. So all the bees in the box, the swarm box here, didn't have anything to do but build comb and to pull in nectar. And they've done a fantastic job of that. But there's no larvae in there. It's all just eggs. So she has just started laying, and there's quite a few eggs in there, but she's very new. So in that case, we added one more frame down about that far that she can start laying on. And we don't want to put a lot of frames in here because it's going to be 20 days before we start having brood to hatch out here. So it's going to take a little while to build the numbers up in here, and we don't want to give them so much space that they can't cover it all until they get more bees. So probably in 3 weeks, we'll come out here and add more frames to this box. But this was a great video. You should have seen the first take. It was awesome. So we're going to close these girls up. The box is sitting there, the swarm box. Those bees will be calmed down. They can walk into here. They'll start smelling the queen's pheromones out of the opening down there. And in just a little while, we'll come out here and I'll dump that box on the little stool there, and the rest of them can walk in and we'll take it away. So this was a pretty easy transfer. Just want you to see, this is how we like to do it. There's bees all in the air, but they're not all on me. They're not on Shirley. They're not real aggressive. And that has a lot to do with the weather being really nice today. So, thumbs up. You would have loved the first take. It was awesome, I tell you. It was probably the best video we ever did. But we're rookies. We make mistakes. So, please subscribe. Give us thumbs up. Tell your beekeeper buddies, hey, watch these people over here. They're learning. They make some mistakes every once in a while, but they got some good information. So we'll see you next time. Thanks. Shirley, turn around and wave to the guy in the CSX truck.
Oh. The railroad guys. You don't always see a truck going down the railroad track, but as soon as we turn on the video camera, you see all kinds of stuff.
All right, here we go again. And
we found like 3 hive beetles, maybe. When we went back into the box today, I rambled around way too much.
okay.